Hi, my name is Brandon Rybak. This is my scenario project. To jump right into it, a lot of you may already think you know how stealth aircraft works, right? Now, if your interpretation is anything like this, well, you'd be entirely wrong. But before I explain why, I chose this topic for my scenario because I've always wondered how our military made jets and planes invisible. So I decided to find out. So what does make a stealth jet, for example, an F-22 Raptor, different from, let's say, an F-15? Well, first to understand that, we'll have to learn how radar, or radio detection and ranging, works. Let's get into that. Radio waves are electromagnetic waves, and these waves are mostly used for two different purposes: detection and something we call the Doppler effect, which we'll get into shortly. It all starts with a radio transmitter, which sends radio waves in a broad direction, like a very, very wide direction. The radio waves can go very, very far range and can detect planes from miles and miles away. When radio waves hit any object, they are immediately sent back towards the same direction they came from. An amazing example of this is how echoes work. Sound waves come from vibrations hit onto objects such as your ear, and your ear acts as a receiver to hear sound. Radar receivers then show how many waves came back, what direction they came from, which is why we can see the size of an object on the. Now for the second part, the Doppler effect, which helps calculate how fast a plane is moving. When radio waves hit an object that isn't moving, the waves come back at the same speed they did before with no change. However, when waves hit a moving object, the waves come back all wonky because if the waves hit an object moving towards the radar, the frequency of the waves will come back at an increase. When they hit an object moving away from the radar, they'll come back at a decrease. This is how radar works, and now that we know the basics, we can get into our original question. Unlike commercial planes or any other regular planes, stealth aircraft are made with deflection in mind. Regular planes have a very oval-like shape that radio waves can easily deflect off of. However, to use the F-22 as an example again, stealth aircrafts are more rigid in a triangular shape, sharp edges, and all that. And also paint. Yeah, paint. Stealth aircraft use a special type of paint that contains small bits of iron formatted in a way that creates an electromagnetic field. When the radar waves hit the paint, the magnetic waves are being absorbed by the metal, and because of the way how the iron is formatted, it disperses away as heat. This tactic was notably used on the F-117 Nighthawk, a former U.S. stealth attacker, which is now retired. It looks like this. Look how funky this thing looks. They really took the triangle design too literally. However, it did work. Pyramid and triangle shapes are great for getting rid of radar waves because they capture and bounce the waves so much that they become obsolete and don't return to the receiver powerful enough to be detected. These are usually placed under the skin of the plane, or little tiny ones can be combined with the paint that I just mentioned for double action. Another tactic is carbon-based material under the skin. As the waves try to seep into the plane, the carbon amount increases, stealing energy slowly. This was used on the B-2 Spirit bomber. However, with the constant race between radar and stealth aircraft, we can't always rely on absorption, which is why shape is the best way to go. Flat edges and surfaces deflect waves into different directions than the receivers, so the waves never return and are never detected. While these planes are visible to the naked eye and any other form of sight, radar is used to track things before it's way too late, and as we've just learned, stealth aircraft can stop that before it returns. I'm Brandon Rybak, and this is how military stealth aircraft works.